What's up, y'all? Working on the pool house, and we have got it tore all to pieces. I thought we was about done with the outside, and nope. This is probably the most structurally compromised building I've ever worked on. A lot of termite damage, a lot of water damage, so we're trying to use the best products as possible and put it back together. Here's a product that I have not used before. This is from Polywall. It's their joint filler 2200. They have a whole line of products for waterproofing, and this stuff is crazy, man. It's awesome. And this does what it says. It's just to fill joints. It's a pre-filler for before you put the fluid applied home stretch liquid on your foundation. And if you saw my termite video, you know how much damage this thing was. If you haven't, go ahead and watch it because you need to see it. It is horrible. Not the video, but the damage. But I wanted something that was going to be here from now on. I didn't want something that was going to fail. I watch Matt Risinger a lot. I know he likes the Polywall products, so that was good enough for me. So I called Polywall, talked to a service rep. He told me the products that I needed. I told him my situation. He told me the products I needed to use. So I ordered them up, and here we go. We're applying them. Well, if you saw, I was applying the joint filler in behind the zip wall. They didn't tell me to do that. I just took that about myself. In my head, I thought that was a better idea. That way I just have that, know that the water's not going to seep in around the edges. After I adhered all of the zip wall on, I got this. This is a Zip System liquid flash. Dude, this stuff is crazy good too. I use this all the time for my door pans or window pans. And this stuff, man, you put it on there, you can work around it, work on top of it. Weather doesn't hurt it. 2, 3, 4, 5 months, it's still there, man. It is great. Be careful in them corners. Get in there. We don't want any holes in there, so don't dig your knife way deep into the corner. But I prefer to use the liquid flash. I think it's a little more durable than the tape. You know, if you hit the tape, it bangs up pretty good. This really bonds. I mean, it's like liquid rubber or something. I don't know, but it is good. It holds up really well. I think they want 12 mils. I was just checking. You don't have to do this. I mean, you put it on. If you can't see the decking, then I think you've got a good enough coat. Liquid flashed all these door pans, so they're ready to dry. I'm just going to put a little limestone in here. That's actually going to be the finished grade down there, right next to the brick ledge. And I'm just putting limestone in there so we can get out of the mud. Took a wire wheel, scratched on the basement wall, get all the mud and dirt off of there before we applied the Polywall joint filler. Now I'm just trying to get this critical point right here underneath where the wood meets the concrete wall. So that's why I really filled it full of the joint filler, made it nice and smooth, went around from one end to the other. And we're ready for the Home Stretch Waterproofing Liquid by Polywall. This stuff has hella vapor, so you best be in a well-ventilated area when mixing this stuff and using it. But we mixed it up really well, and then we just applied it with a roller. They specify 60 mils. I think we did 4 coats at about 15 wet mils per coat to get to that 60 mils. All right, you can see our finished grade that we're going to start with at the bottom, which that is setting on top of the brick ledge or flush with the brick ledge that runs the whole length right here. But we've got to take all of this center dirt, take it all out here, excavate all of it. There's a lot of dirt to move. And then we got surface drains and we've got foundation drain, and we're going to dig a ditch and run it all the way out the back right there. And I wanted to run the polywall up past the bottom of the door seals about 4 inches to really protect that critical joint when the door sets in that hole, and up underneath where the wood meets the foundation as well. Now, as you can see, we don't have the most ideal situation with grade here, folks. We've already got this dug out to the top of the brick ledge. The concrete pool deck is already set at 4 inches below the bottom of the door. All of this dirt has got to get out of here. We got to create fall to get the water out. But we've got, of course, the foundation, the basement wall. Here's the brick ledge. Then we got a little stem wall up above that connects, that into the foundation. Then we replaced all of this framing right here. We applied some fluid applied zip flash, zip wall. We've got the polywall joint filler all under there really well. And then on top of that, the home stretch liquid. Then we're going to come back and use a dimple board, which protects from the gravel. Plus it keeps that airspace on the back to hopefully let things dry out and don't hold moisture up against the house. And then we're going to backfill it with a clean wash number 7 limestone. I believe this is our last coat, but as I rolled it, I had a wet mill gauge and I checked it, and it was roughly right at 15, pretty close to it. So 4 coats got us to that 60 mil ideal coverage. And I rolled some on just on a piece of Advantech. This stuff is crazy. Dude, it had I could stretch it out like 2.5 inches, 3 inches. It might even went further than that before it broke, but it bonds really well. I mean, I was really, really tugging on it to even pull it off. Oh, we had a few building discrepancies from the previous builder, and this is one of them. I'm having to use a 1/2 inch rigid foam because the framing overhangs the foundation. Remember, I did not frame this. We're just going off what was here before us, folks. So I'm just using this to keep the rock from pushing the dimple board in. Now, if you're needing to apply some zip tape over your liquid flash, man, I use some lacquer thinner. Really cleans it. I guess it just primes the hell out of it because zip tape will stick to it like a champ. But on this dimple board, I did not want to fasten it anywhere. That way I didn't create a weak point. So that's what we did. We just zip taped it right on top of it, lapped it over about 1 inch, create a nice tight seal. Roll the tape. Gots to roll the tape. Get all them wrinkles out of there. Make it nice and smooth. Then we're going to push a little gravel up there just to hold it temporarily. And look at there. That dimple board is the exact same thickness as my hardy siding. So I'm going to utilize it. I won't have to use a starter strip. I'm going to use the dimple board as a starter strip for my first piece of siding. Thank you. Quick way to cut out your door openings. A flush cut bit in the router. Makes quick, nice, super clean cuts. Follows the framing perfectly. Didn't go so good on the polywall. It was pretty sticky, but the rest worked great. Looky here, got the zip system liquid flash in the sausage tube. Dude, this thing works tons better. The sausage cut works great. Got a wide tip on there. Man, you can apply some flashing in a heartbeat. I mean, it flows really well. All right, y'all. I've tried to put together the best waterproofing systems out there. I've got the polywall joint filler, polywall home stretch liquid, the zip wall, zip liquid flash, zip tape, dimple board. Man, no water's ever penetrating this thing, ever. So come on back, watch the next episode of The Pool House. Man, we've got a ton of work to do, but water is no longer going to be an issue here. So tune back in to see how we complete the next stage of this project.